Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. The Snark Air, the newest tuner, the best tuner you've ever played. Yeah, okay. Anyway, enough of that garbage. So, that's the tuner right here. It's got a little airplane on it. It's like, nee, nee, nee. It's a sensor switch too. Kind of really funky and cool. Instructions, pretty basic. You don't even have to read them. It's pretty simple, okay? I would ignore them to a certain point. The only thing you might want to know about is the double tap system. Don't pay attention to the triple tap system because it doesn't do anything. It's supposed to like save your orientation of your last way you had the orientation of the tuner set for viewing. It doesn't work that way. I don't know why. But it's dumb. It doesn't do it. I mean, you just set your orientation, deal with it, turn it off. Next time you turn it back on, it's the same orientation. So, which is what it's supposed to do in a triple tap. It's just like, whatever. 3 little LED lights will light up, fully charged. And of course, let's turn this on. Come on. There we go. So you have 3 little LED bars. Now this is fully charged. It took about 2 hours to charge this, by the way. It's like, that's crazy. But that's how long it took. So, but there were 2 bars right from the factory. Basically a storage charge. So top it up, peak it out. About 2 hours, 3 bars. Should stay like that for quite a long time. When it gets down to 1 bar left over, or 1 dot left over, that's when they say, you should charge it. Okay, we'll do that. Now, the head rotates 360 degrees, okay, which is actually kind of really cool, right? It's a squeeze clamp system. This thing, by the way, is absolutely not, I say, not suitable for classical guitars because they tend to have really thick headstocks. And this thing ain't going to fit right, okay? So, we shall grab the classical to show you. So, spread all the way open here. Yeah, it's, we're going to have to force that. And we don't want to force it because we could break something. So, not suitable for classical guitars or nylon string guitars. At least not when you got a friggin' headstock this thick, okay? Thinner is better, okay? So any of your steel string, 6-string guitars, 12-string guitars should be fine too. Any electric guitar headstock is going to be fine. It'll work on that. Not a big deal, okay? The idea is this thing stays hidden so you don't look like such a noob on stage. You know, people have opinions, and sometimes they should learn to keep their opinion to themselves, especially on something like this, because I don't think it's a rookie thing for somebody to have a headstock tuner on their guitar, even if they're gigging live, right? I mean, this is my normal headstock tuner. It clamps on like this. I can see it. I can tune my guitar, you know, no big deal, right? And I like it like that. If I want to flip the sucker upside down, I can do that too. And I can just kind of twist the display. And I still see, you know, pretty good. It's a little bit of a weird angle, but there we go. So I can still see the angle correctly, and we're all good to go. I can tune my guitar. So really, is this a necessary device? Well, it's a lot more compact and definitely less weighty, we'll say, because when you put it onto your headstock in the orientation they suggest, which is upside down so that they don't see your tuner, okay, then you just turn the sucker on and you orientate the display the way you want to see it. Now that will take a double tap in order to do that, and then you can see the orientation you want. There's only 2 choices, by the way. It's not like a 3D thing where you can go flip, flip, flip. So they really didn't consider us left-handed players with this tuner. But either way, a lefty can actually use this. I tend to have it so the orientation is viewing the notes so that I can see that that's an A, even though, you know, the legs of the A are facing this way, right? I can see that that's actually an A, and I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal. Okay, I know you guys want to see this thing too, so hang on. Let me see what kind of a view I can give you guys, because this is where it's a pain with this kind of a tuner. How do we do this? Yeah, probably something like this. So there's our A. When you get a solid green, then it's in tune. Now, obviously, that's a little sharp, so we're going to back it off a bit. The magenta is flat, amber is sharp, and away you go. I mean, it's a pretty sensitive tuner. It's no more, I don't think it's any better of a tuner than any other Snark or any other headstock tuner. I mean, there are better headstock tuners that are better than the cheapies, like from Joyo and Fender and a few other companies. But anyways, you just tap it once again, it turns it off, and you're good to go. But the idea behind this thing was so that you could hide it, so you didn't look so rookie, and people would be able to keep their opinions to themselves because they wouldn't be able to see your tuner. They also say it's nice to be able to, not allow people to see you retuning on stage. And it's like, dude, they're still gonna know you're tuning your guitar, and if it's an acoustic you're playing on stage, there's no muting that signal, okay? I mean, you can mute to the PA, but they're still going to be able to hear the acoustic part of your instrument. So, electric guitar, that's different. Turn the volume off, it's a vibrating tuner. Most gigging musicians, whether they're professionals or just amateur tourers kind of thing, guys are playing like legions and bars and pubs. I mean, these guys got pedal board tuners on their electric guitars. They're not playing around with these things generally with a headstock tuner, but some do. But majority, no. But acoustic players, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a thing where, yeah, we either have a tuner built in with our pickup, or if we don't, in the case of Taylor guitar, well, at least this Taylor anyway, then, yeah, a headstock tuner is very ideal. Very nice to have there. And it's less garbage to carry around with you on the floor. So, you know what I mean? But I think that it is a good tuner. It's accurate. I would say that it's definitely very low profile, which is kind of what they were shooting for. I think the picture of the airplane and all this talk about piloting stuff in their friggin' literature, that's like for a 3-year-old. I mean, you got to have the mentality of a mosquito. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know where they were going with this whole airplane thing. I think it's stupid and childish. And that's one thing that I'm sure a lot of you adults watching this video are going to agree with, that is kind of a very childish thing, okay? I mean, let's face it, a lot of us, even guys, my age, okay, I'm not ancient, but, I've been around a couple of decades. I find that is kind of childish, to be honest. But, I mean, I bought it because I've been waiting for this thing. It's supposed to be like a better tuner, it's supposed to be well hidden, and blah blah blah. And I give them credit, it does hide when it's upside down. You can read the display just fine, even for a lefty player. I mean, you can read it fine, okay? Their triple tap system to save your orientation setting is bogus. It doesn't actually work that way. It's like turn it on, do your quick double tap to the orientation you want, tune your guitar, give it another single tap, it turns it off. Next time you turn it back on, it's the exact same orientation as you last programmed. So why the triple tap? I have no idea, but that feature is non-existent technically. The blue lighting I like the blue light on the plane. That's kind of neat, but I just don't like the plane. I think that they should have gone with their trademark, which is S for Snark. That would have made sense. I mean, they give you this red cap that sits over top of this when you pull it out of the box. And look, it's got an S. Why not have an S that lights up for Snark? I don't get the airplane thing. I know some of you think, yeah, I'm being a little picky, but I'm not. I'm actually being quite realistic here. There's a limit to childish things in life, and even though men do refuse to generally grow up, because, yeah, there was no fun in being that serious in life, yeah, there's kind of a limit, and I think they pushed it over the edge with the airplane. Well, they were probably thinking about kids, and it would be really neat. I would not give a kid a tuner that cost $30 US or $40 Canadian. And that was $40 Canadian, $39.99. And I'm like, I wouldn't give that to any of my kids. They're going to break it faster than I ever would. And I take care of my stuff. So, yeah, I should have that 10 years from now. But as far as charging goes, they do supply you with about a 3-foot long micro USB to Type A. Okay, for charging. So you can charge this off of your computer USB port. Some docks that do support charging, yes. Docks that don't do it. But otherwise, anybody can get themselves even a 1 amp wall art. Either way, I'm running a 2 amp wall art, and it still took 2 hours to charge that thing right to the top from factory. So, and it just kind of sits like underneath the tuner. There's a little port here. It would have been nice for Type C because I'm getting a little fed up like everybody else is with this micro USB stuff. But it doesn't push all the way into the tuner. It only goes like maybe part way in, so you'll see some exposed. Don't try and force it. It only goes in so far, okay? So just be careful about that, and then make sure you pull out straight. The rotating part, I like that idea. I think that's kind of neat because you can get a few different little angles there going. That's kind of interesting. The sharp, flat, and fully tuned thing, it's kind of like a normal feature anyway. But it works well. That's the thing. It does work well. Now this is also full chromatic too. There's no microphone in this, so it's vibration only, which is kind of nice. However, that being said, it is 100% chromatic, which means, according to their box, they say, spot on tuning for any guitar or bass, any ukulele, mandolin, or banjo, and more. Well, as far as the any guitar goes, we've already seen on the classical, it's not going to work for us. It's going to be forced on, and we could break the brackets. So, yeah, not for classical. Now, these other Snark tuners, regardless of which model you have, and I've got a number of these would be fine for classical guitars and regular guitars alike, okay? Not a big deal. And if you want to do different tuning modes, they all have different features or not the same features, okay? They vary depending on the model and how you get it. Now, that black one, by the way, is also their rechargeable one that came out, I believe, last year. So now they got the new rechargeable, which is this little hideaway airplane thing. And I do like the style. I just don't like the idea of the airplane. That's kind of stupid. But I also don't like the fact that it won't mount properly on an acoustic or a classical guitar headstock, because this could be a problem. It's like, oh, I like this kind of a tuner. I really love it, but I probably shouldn't buy it because it won't fit on my headstock. Quite correct. So if your headstock is the thickness of, an average classical guitar headstock, yeah, that could work. Okay? But any other acoustic guitar with steel strings, electric guitars, it's going to work. It's going to fit, should fit fine. I've got a Tele here, and I don't have a Strat, so, oh well. But on the Telecaster, of course, getting this thing to go upside down would probably be your best bet. And it'll just stay out of the way of the strings, and we've got it there, and that actually works quite nice. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that orientation works best. I can see the letter. So that actually works on a Tele right about in this spot here. Okay, and you'll see it from the underside here. There we go. I'm sorry that the thing's maybe a little out of focus. It's my distance from my iPhone. I'm using it as continuity camera, and LEDs do play havoc on phones anyway, so I may have to move back a little further here. Hopefully that works for you better. But anyways, as an upside down thing, yeah, nobody can really tell what that is. For all they know, it could be a miniature capo, right? And that's the whole point to this thing, is to hide it. Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. If I forget to take my headstock tuner off, I don't care if somebody sees it on my guitar while I'm playing. It doesn't matter to me. As long as it doesn't fall off while I'm playing, that's the big thing. So, anyhow, I'll give it a 4 out of 5, but there's a but. I don't think that this is worth $39.99 in tax Canadian. I think it should be more like $29.99 in Canadian in tax. $29 I think would be reasonable for this piece of kit. Okay, $39, no. I did have to pay for it, so And I did get this at Long and McQuaid, which I always give them plugs in my videos just because it's my favorite candy store. And about 99.99% of my shopping is Long and McQuaid. The rest of it's Amazon or Wish or wherever, okay? Because there is some things that they just don't carry. So, you know. But I've been waiting for this, and I did try it out ahead of time before I bought it, and I thought, yeah, it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. I don't like the airplane that much. It's kind of dumb, but you know, what do I care? It's an airplane. But it's your power button, and it's a sensor system, which I do appreciate the sensor touch, but it should have been an S for Snark. When it comes to these other tuners or any tuner that's got like the on and off button, I literally wore a Snark out after 2 years of constantly using that thing every day, right? And with the amount of guitars I've had through here and in here at any given point in time, yeah, I got a lot of tuning to do, so it's on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, right? Type of thing. And yeah, I wore out the switch. So this, at least I know I don't have a switch to wear out, okay? So that's kind of nice. And rechargeable is kind of nice. Should have no problem recharging this about 300 times. Though that is the funny thing. In the rechargeable one, they said something about, I think it was 300 plus times. Check my video on the rechargeable Snark, and it'll tell you. But this, they don't tell you how many cycles you should get out of it. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be around the same, about 300 charge cycles. And in all the time I've had this black rechargeable one, if you go and check my video on this one, I've only had to recharge it twice now since I got it. Now, I'm not using this every single bloody day. But even to just even sit there after being charged, you know, it's still holding really exceptionally well. And I've only topped it up twice since I got it, so that's pretty decent. You know, so I got 298 more cycles before the battery is going to get weaker, basically, where it won't hold as well. So probably 600 cycles. But anyhow, this should be about the same thing for being rechargeable. I do like the idea of no more batteries. You know, I do like rechargeable toys. I think they're pretty cool. This is neat. I do like it. The airplane needs to go. Snark, if you're listening, ditch this airplane, please. Give us a new version with an S for Snark, okay? And definitely chop the price down a lot, because the triple tap feature doesn't actually work the way they say it does. And yeah, I think I'd prefer an S on there over an airplane, to be honest with you. Because I don't know where they're going with this whole Snark Air thing. It's like, whatever. Oh, but it's the airplane, is the air. Doesn't matter. You're missing my point. Okay? Some things are just some things. But I'm not taking it back. I am keeping it. I paid my $40 of blood money, and I am going to keep it. I like these little pouches they give you. They give you some pretty nice quality little pouches for these things, you know. So you can just like tuck it away like this and throw it in your case and kind of somewhat protect it, right? This little red cap you'll find is already on it. Just torch that when you're done, because yeah, that's just disposable stuff. It's a protection thing during shipping in the boxes. Instructions, like I said, about 2 hours to charge it. All 3 lights should stay solid and is fully charged. If there's still a blinking light, don't take it off the charger till it stops blinking, because that means it's not charged yet. So when they're all solid, then you're charged. And when you get down to 1 dot left, then they say recharge it. So, but other than that, you've got the basic, you know, fast instructions if you forgot something, which is kind of hard to forget. But when they say the 3-time thing, it says it's to change the default orientation of the letter note, right? This will be retained when you power up again. You can reset at any time. Well, a double tap changes the orientation. So you just go ding, ding, change the orientation. You like it? Okay, fine. Tune your guitar up. When you're done, tap once, turns off. Next time you turn it back on, it's the exact same orientation. So why Snark with the triple tap? Because it doesn't work. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't matter. So just so you guys know too, and girls. But anyhow, that's what I got. That's what you get. You get a 4 out of 5 with it, with a few of my little complaints. I think they got to go back and redesign for classical guitars, because they can't say any guitar when obviously on a classical guitar that bracket is not big enough to go on there without wrecking the pads or possibly busting the clamp system. So do not buy if all you have is a classical guitar. Instead, buy one of these Snarks instead, because they'll open their trap more than big enough to fit on any headstock. Okay? At least as long as you haven't exceeded the jaw, right? So anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. A little more comical this time, but very serious at the same time. See you in the next one. Ciao.